Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the podcast for the people, Better Than Broadway. Man, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in wrestling today. We're going to go over the full recap for Full Gear. We're going to talk about Survivor Series and the preview, go over all those matches, and we've got some stuff overseas going on. But before we do all that, it is very important, and this one hit me harder than some of the other ones in the past, but I want to give my condolences and send thoughts and prayers to the family of Jason David Frank, otherwise known as the Green Ranger. This is somebody that was very important to me in my childhood. I'm going to try not to get choked 100%. Up and emotional here, but he took his life, according to reports from his legal advisor, Justine Hunt. He was going through a nasty divorce. We don't know what's going on. We're not going to speculate any of that. It's horrible when you see a man or anybody for that matter take their life. Hurt people. And, this one hurt. So,
rest in peace,
you guys want any thoughts about David and his, impact that he had on y'all's life?
I mean, as you know, he impacted my childhood as somebody I always grew up watching as Power Rangers. Like I was, I think, 4th, 5th grade when he came about. And then, kind of more as like a martial artist, he was a figure in all of our worlds. Like, he was an 8th degree black belt in karate and did jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. So, I mean, it sucks. We be nice to everyone because you don't know what battles they're fighting, people.
Everybody's going through something.
Very well. So, that being said, if I know we don't have a ton of listeners, but if you need help, all you got to do is dial 988 for the suicide prevention hotline, and they are there to help you out. Please reach out to somebody, talk to your friends, talk to us. We are there, but there are people who want to help you out.
The thing about this is when you're going through this, you don't feel like you have a voice, and even if you do feel like you have a voice, you feel like nobody wants to listen to it, and nobody really does care. But that's not true. There are people that care, no matter what you're going through or how low you are. There's always a better decision that can be made, and there's always something that you can look forward to. So, like I said, 988, and Jason David Frank, give it a salute.
Rest in peace, brother.
May the power protect you. Rob, tell us what is going on in the world of wrestling and sports entertainment this week.
Guys,
as I eat my sushi.
It has been a whirlwind the last couple of days in pro wrestling. I mean, my God. Impact Wrestling had their pay-per-view on Friday. And great show. A lot of great stuff. 2 of the biggest matches, Jordan Grace and Masha Slamovich in a last woman standing match. That was an absolute banger. They threw everything at each other but the kitchen sink. Jordan Grace ends up winning.
Her name is Slamovich?
Masha Slamovich from Russia.
What a great wrestling name, right? Like,
great wrestling name. Great wrestling.
What are the chances? What are the chances? She's going to be a pro wrestler. She's born with the name Slamovich. What are the chances?
We can get into that. We'll get into that another time.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
but the most important thing that happened at this pay-per-view, this Impact show, Josh Alexander and Frankie Kazarian battling for the Impact World Championship. Not so much the match itself, but the aftermath of the match. Kind of gilding the lily here, keeping it cut short. In a great match, one where Frankie Kazarian hit the Styles Clash on Josh Alexander for a near fall. Josh Alexander wins the match. Josh Alexander wins the match to retain the Impact World Championship. After the match, Bully Ray, the former Bubba Ray Dudley, comes out and carrying his little Call Your Shot trophy that he won last month. He says, "Hey, look, I told you
still around causing trouble.
I told you I was gonna tell you when I was coming. I'm being fair. I'm being honest. I'm saying you're one of the greatest champions in the world right now. Pretty baby promo. Really solid baby promo. Josh gets out the ring. He's celebrating. His wife's ringside, doing all this other stuff. Out of nowhere, here comes bad Leroy Brown, Bully Ray, come in, smashing him with a chair, beating the hell out of him, smash, just beating him with a chair. And Josh Alexander's wife's sitting ringside screaming at Bully Ray. Bully Ray grabs her out of the crowd, and he's going to pile drive her on the concrete floor. And Obviously, he says, if you don't do what I tell you to do, da, 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 da. So he's being mega heel. He's being a monster. And they've set up this match January 13th, 2023 in Atlanta, Georgia at Center Stage.
Ooh.
Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill. Fellas, Josh Alexander.
Do I feel a road trip coming on? Like, are we doing a field trip? Is that what we're gonna do?
It's a field trip for you guys. I could walk there, but sure, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess not road trip, but technically field trip. Yeah, field trip.
Yes,
But anyway,
on location.
That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be here in Atlanta. It's something
It's a Friday.
Cover. It's a Friday, and I think it's going to be dope because if anybody tells a good story, it's Bully Ray. And Josh Alexander, if anybody is a machine in the ring, it's Josh Alexander. So when you take a fabulous storyteller and a great wrestling technician, you put them in a ring for a title, shit writes itself, man. Boys, how do we feel about this upcoming match, January 13th, in our backyard?
I have a question. Is Bully Ray in the Hall of Fame?
He is in the WWE and Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. Yes.
Okay, cool. Deservingly so. That's what I wasn't sure. I'd have to look that up.
I do not think he's in the Cauliflower Alley Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, but he's in at least two.
But yeah, I was talking about WWE just to, I mean, that's obviously the most, I guess, celebrated one or the most.
Well, I mean, it's most prestigious, I'd say. You know, it's yeah.
Yeah. But is he, I mean, he's somebody that I feel like, I don't think he's talked about enough for him being one of these guys from the Attitude Era that can still go. Like, there's not a lot of them left. And you hear about Jericho, which we all love. You hear about,
Jeff Jarrett's
back. Jeff Jarrett. I mean, but like Bully Ray, man, like he was in one of the most groundbreaking and what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, I guess inspirational, like tag teams. Yeah. Innovative tag teams ever. And you don't really hear about him that much anymore, but he's still throwing down. Like it's very impressive. That's all.
How old is he?
55, 56.
Yeah, he's got to be mid-50s. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Billy Gunn. Bully Ray.
He's 51. Yeah. He's 51. So he's younger than Jericho or just as old.
Okay, yeah.
Billy Gunn's the one that's 55.
Billy Gunn's 60, bro. Billy Gunn is really? I know. I didn't believe it either. I think we even looked it up online here one time. He is, wait, hold on. He is, I'm sorry. He's 59.
59.
He's not 60. He's 59.
He just turned 59 like a couple weeks ago.
That's unbelievable.
Looks like he's 20.
Yeah. GH is a beautiful drug, my friends.
Oh my gosh.
So moving on from Impact, that was the highlight of Impact. We had a really big weekend with AEW, with Full Gear, but overseas in Japan, over the weekend, we had two really big things that happened. Stardom, which is the women's professional wrestling outfit, the biggest one in Japan, and New Japan Pro Wrestling had a crossover event. It was an historic first time ever crossover event. And the main event of the evening was Kairi, the former Kairi Sane of the Kabuki Warriors of WWE, battling.
What did she go
Stardom.
back on? What did she go as in New Japan?
Just Kairi, all capital letters. Kairi, kind of like Walter, all capital letters. She goes by Kairi, and she battled Mayu Iwatani, who is a former Stardom champion. And she is a former Ring of Honor a wrestler. She's worked with AEW. She kind of got her start in America here at Ring of Honor. But Kairi went on to defeat Mayu Iwatani to become the first ever women's IWGP champion. This is a huge deal. Because
it's the first time they've done this, right? New
Japan has never had a women's champion. Stardom has always had their champions, their tag team champions. Hell yeah! People like Asuka, the former Kana, Io Sky or Io Shirai or whoever you want to call her. All these women cut their teeth in Stardom. Taylor Wilde cut her teeth in Stardom. A lot of your favorite current women's wrestlers in the United States. A lot of them cut their teeth in stardom. Paige was there. Saraya was there. But anyway, congratulations to Kairi. She's going to defend that title at Wrestle Kingdom 7 on January 4th. We do not know who her opponent's going to be, although Tam Nakano came out after the match and kind of like scouted her out. But this is something I want you guys' opinion on, since I know you didn't see the show, but this is important, and I want your thoughts on this. The former Sasha Banks, Mercedes Varnado,
now Mercedes Moné.
Now Mercedes Moné, the bank boss herself. She's done with WWE.
What does done mean?
Her contract expired. She's done, bro.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
but she still has her non-compete, and she's not available for any actual wrestling events until I think January of 2023. So she's got another couple months on it. But she has trademarked quite a few different things. Right. One of them being Mercedes Moné, excuse me. One of them being, what is it? Not her finishing move was bank statement, and now it's make something to do with statement. Like she's done quite a bit of things. I think Monet Talk or something like that. So it looks like she's branching out to potentially do something, or just potentially, being clever to use those monikers maybe in another promotion. But sure. I think she's bigger than wrestling at this point.
I think, if she's going over into Japan, there's a lot of opportunities, especially with AEW, considering how much they're working in with New Japan. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see her come over and, throw her shit around.
Tony would definitely be an idiot not to get her. I'm sure that he's tried. I just don't see her going to AEW. I see if she continues to do wrestling, I don't see it with anybody other than WWE, just because of her relationship with Triple H now that he's in charge of creative, and that's the biggest vessel that she can ride into that Hollywood, picture, which I think is ultimately what she wants to do with her, Snoop Dogg cousin pedigree and all this other kind of stuff. But honestly, I think she's there. I think she can break into film and stuff like that and be bigger than wrestling. I think she's bigger than wrestling.
We'll definitely see how this pans out. Meanwhile, Wrestle Kingdom January 4th at the Tokyo Dome. Going to be a hell of a show. I think we need to watch.
I think she'll be a better actor than Ronda Rousey was. Like Ronda Rousey was in
setting the bar real high, Ryan. She already was a better actor. She was on The Mandalorian. She did great there.
There you go.
All right, so moving forward, going back to staying in Japan. Just a little footnote here. Nothing major because this is not a big story. But the Great Muta wrestled his last match last night in IWGP. He will now, this was his last match as Great Muta. He's still got a few matches as Keiji Muto, which is his real name. He's going to fight Shinsuke Nakamura in a couple of weeks at a show in Japan. It's going to be amazing. I think we'll keep an eye on that. But the other big news coming out of Japan last night, Will Ospreay defended his IWGP United States Championship last night.
Such a great talent.
One of these generational lifetime talents. He's up on the arms of his boys, Aussie Open, and the United Empire. They're all celebrating in the ring. Well, all the lights go out. It's super dark, and everybody's kind of looking around. What the hell is going on? Up on the big screen, our man, Mr. Kenny Omega, shows up in Japan after being away for almost 4 years to challenge Ospreay for the U.S. title at Wrestle Kingdom.
Interesting. Kenny Omega, he's officially back, especially with AEW. So why not? Like, rising tides raises all boats, man. Come on, let's go. Right. Yeah, and what a fun match that will be, Ospreay and Omega. Like that. That was so good.
Yeah, they already planted the seeds for it at Forbidden Door.
Correct. Yeah,
and I think him going over there is great because obviously it's going to be a 5-star plus match. I don't see how it couldn't be. But the build for it, the fact that it's been teased a little bit over here now that Kenny is much better known from AEW, I think it's going to be really good. It's going to be good for New Japan, and the fact that they're letting him go and do that, I think that shows you that the toxicity of AEW is starting to slide. Like we're getting out of that a little bit, right? Like that whole, he whose name we will not mention on the podcast, according to Rob now.
Screw that guy.
Who's back doing MMA combat, which he broke his silence on that. We won't talk about it, but he broke his silence on AEW and kind of made a couple smart ass remarks on the CFFC, where he was doing commentary at. But
he's commentating MMA now?
Yeah, he is.
Does he have any type of martial arts background to be able to comment on that?
Punk?
Yeah, he's Owen.
I wasn't going to say his name, Justin. You just did.
Sorry. No, I was calling you a punk. I was like, Punk? What are you talking about?
Okay.
That
yes,
guy,
he does. He got choked out in 15 seconds. Yeah, he got choked out in 15 seconds by a first timer debut in UFC.
Yeah.
So
Mickey Gall is a fighter. He's actually pretty good.
No, he's decent. I'm not taking anything away from him for sure.
I mean, he's 0-1. The three of us are undefeated in UFC.
That's true.
Actually, he's 0-2.
Is he 0-2?
Yeah, he fought another guy, and it went the distance.
I've had 4 MMA fights. Thank you very much. They may not be UFC, but my MMA, it's still better than his. I'm just saying.
Hopefully, you have more training than like a year.
All right. So, what else we got in New Japan? Or are we done? Or we're
so we're done with New Japan. We want to get back into what are we going to go to now? The Survivors.
Well, we're going to talk. We're going to leave you guys on the hook for AEW. So first, we want to talk about this preview. Yeah, stick around. First, we want to talk about this preview for Survivor Series because this is stacking up to be a very, very good Survivor Series. I mean, do you guys agree? Like, since Triple H has come through, he's just hit the nail on the head with these specials.
It's been good. I mean, I've been coming back to watch WWE a lot.
Honestly,
Man
I think
winning.
Yes, he is. I mean, the TV product is better too.
Like the Falcons won today.
There you go.
They did. But I watched it.
But literally everything since Survivor Series has been extreme. Something that I've even without watching all the product, just knowing what's going on, it's good enough for me to want to watch these specials. So I want to go over these. I want to get you guys quick opinions on this. I don't really know the order that they're going to be going in, but there's 5 matches, which in my eyes is really, really good because that tells me they're not just throwing a shitload of stuff at the wall. They've given these things time, and they're going to give them time during the pay-per-view. Yeah, and also maybe it won't be a 12-hour pay-per-view. Who knows? AEW. But yeah, we're looking at, first off, we'll start with the United States Championship, which is going to be a triple threat between Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when it's a triple threat, the champion does not actually have to get pinned to lose the title.
What are you talking about? That is a bunch of baloney.
So
it should be a contest of who can pin the champion. That would be funny.
It should be 2-on-1 then, right? No, yeah.
That's what ECW did. ECW had these 3-way dances, these triple threat matches, and the champion had to be pinned for the match.
That's crazy. You know what? I think I should bring that back.
I like that better. Or just call it something else. You don't have to call it a triple threat. Just call it something else. Make it a new thing, like they're doing with NXT, which we can talk about that too if you want. But they're creating a new gimmick. They're creating a new gimmick on NXT of Shawn Michaels doing, and it's kind of like a singles tag team turmoil, where it's how many pins can you get within a certain period of time. It's very, very interesting. Have you guys heard about that? Yeah. So kind of, yeah. Basically, you're right. Yeah. So it's basically. Yeah, 5 guys come in, and this is offshoot. So 5 guys come in. The only thing that's confusing is that, it's like every 5 minutes. So that last person that comes in, they have a very short period of time to pin people. But I guess the caveat to that, or the other side of it, is they're going to be fresh. All these other guys are going to be wasted because they've been wrestling for, 20 plus minutes. So I'm interested to see it. There's very few in wrestling. There's very few times where you're like, oh, a new gimmick, and especially a new time, because a lot of the gimmicks, because there's so many of them now, they feel convoluted when you hear them. You're like, that's too much to follow. But this one seems
like, what, we got to pin the tail on the donkey and pin the guy?
Yeah. It's like, wait, we gotta find the Prozac at the top of the ladder. Like, I don't understand. No, this one seems pretty good. But yeah, so moving on, I think, moving on from the United States Championship, or actually, what do you guys think? Who do you think? How do you think that's going to go? Right, because Seth stole it from Bobby. Right, Austin cashed in, failed it. He's obviously on the down tick.
Yeah, but he's been on the uproar.
I love
Austin.
He has like since he lost. I remember the text chain we had. Everyone was like, "That was a terrible way to end it," but they've let him like tear through people.
Well, he needs more time. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a freaking world champion. I just think that, it's one of those things. I think he just needed more time.
You know what I thought was great on Monday?
What's that?
Here comes Austin Theory out to the ring. He's got a beard. He's got a new edge. He is not carrying that damn cell phone out, taking selfies. He's just he's hard nosing it, getting in the ring, having a good match. He and Dolph Ziggler put on a great match.
Yep. Are you saying that having a beard improves output?
I mean, I feel like beards take care of most things. I mean, we all got them.
Justin, when you shaved your beard, did you feel that you were less of Justin before?
I just felt younger. To be honest with you, I just felt younger, I felt naked.
Stop! Wait a minute. When Justin shaved his beard, what are you guys talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. When your cousin Jason doesn't have a beard.
No, yeah. So you don't know this. So a couple years ago, my cousin Jason got cancer, and to support him, I shaved my beard as a fundraiser.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
And how did that make you feel when you did that?
It's Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity. Is that a proper? Is that a ways, guys?
I'm trying to keep
with me for a second. You guys take the reins. I've got to figure out how to plug in my computer. I think it's about to go dead, and I don't want to die. I'll give you a subject to talk about. A peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. Discuss.
It is a legume.
It's a legume.
Period. End of story.
The story. So yeah.
Facts.
So while Justin's doing that, we can continue talking about this thing. So
yeah.
I love the new Austin Theory. I hope he does well. I think Seth Rollins is going to win that match by hook or by crook because that's what he does. He's Seth freaking Rollins, and he's becoming the most over babyface on Raw, which is weird because he was a heel for a while. But
he was. I mean, I love him as a heel. I love him as a heel.
But when they start chanting your name and singing your music and doing all that stuff, I mean, how do you stay a heel, man? Like how? It's the same thing that happened with Edge when you get too good at being bad.
Mm-hmm.
Love you.
It's happening in MJF, right?
Yeah. Almost. But I mean, it's one of those things where that's how you know you've made superstardom.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, they love you for it. Sure. Unless I remember when Stone Cold went corporate, that was kind of when I stopped watching. Do people still love him for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on. So now we've got Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi, aka Shotzi Blackheart, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Interesting how they're kind of doing this because Shotzi's had 5 matches on TV in the last year, and she's lost 3 of those 5, if not 4 of those 5. And out of nowhere, she's the number 1 contender for a title that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Shotzi Blackheart. I think she is phenomenal. Her look is unique. Her in-ring style is unique. She's coming out in that tank and the damn Viking helmet. I love everything about how her gimmick rolls. But for somebody to lose, to be 0-3 on television, win a six-pack match, and then beat Shayna Baszler on TV the next night, it doesn't completely connect with me. There's something.
Shotzi needs to pull out like the hat, the bag of all tricks, like Rabbit in the Hat, Alice in Wonderland shit, and just have gimmick after gimmick. Like when they did the Johnny Knoxville versus
Sami
Zayn match, there seems to be like stuff everywhere that she's pulling that you're like, where did that come from? And that's how she beats Ronda Rousey because like Ronda, she's a trained fighter.
Yeah,
she knows how to fight people and she knows how to wrestle people. She may not know how to deal with like if you're running at her with a pair of like jumper cables. That would be hysterical.
But like at the same time too, I feel like we're in the Triple H era and we're not in the Vince McMahon era anymore. We don't need camp. We had plenty of camp in the new generation and camp in the 80s. I just feel like you've got, and really and truly, Shotzi's got some camp with the tank, but to just put her as a comedy act in a wrestling ring, man, I don't want that for her. She's a great wrestler. She's great talent. It's like Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's great, and then you're gonna have her being a kamikaze style wrestler now, where she's just jumping off of ladders and putting people through tables and everything else. That you're making her extreme, but what are you gonna do with that? Is my question.
I think she has to go. I think she has to go too extreme for Ronda.
I guess. I mean, you've got a former UFC women's champion, I believe the first, and you've got a bronze medalist judo player in the 2008 or 2012 Olympics. Can't remember which Olympics she was in, but Ronda is a legit fighter, and now she's the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, which is fantastic because it brings a lot of new, fresh eyes to the product. But my question is, how do you elevate somebody like Shotzi Blackheart or Shotzi to the next level without hurting the product itself?
I mean, Shotzi shouldn't win this.
Did y'all miss me? Did you miss me?
I did mute you for a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry about
you're
that.
Not offended. No, that's okay.
I think one of the inputs on my laptop is like not working all of a sudden, which is weird because this MacBook Pro is like pretty new. So, anyways, where are we at? We're on Shotzi.
I think Shotzi, like, it's going to be. She has to play into Ronda's overconfidence. She's going to get her butt kicked a bunch.
Yeah, and
Ronda's going to get cocky and do something stupid, and Shotzi has to capitalize that way.
Fair enough.
It's like capitalizing on the Vader bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are some good matches, and I'm really looking forward to them. Justin, you want to come back for War Games, or do you want me to keep running?
Yeah, go ahead and run it out if you have it in front of you, because I'm trying to add this my screen that has all the stuff on it for some reason.
Totally fine.
I'm all messed
totally
up.
Fine. So now we have our two classic Survivor Series War Games matches. Which, for those of you that don't know about War Games, that's something that Dusty Rhodes came up with in NWA WCW.
It is so cool. It is a giant cage.
War Games, baby.
Two rings, giant cage around the rings, all the plunder. As Dusty used to say, the plunder, the tables, the ladders, the chairs, the kendo sticks, all the toys, the plunder. So anyway, we have a women's match and a men's match so far. Our women's match is going to see WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair leading the team of Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Mia Yim in one to be named later, which we'll talk about, versus Damage Control, which is the returning Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Nikki Cross, and from Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley. So Bayley's team is set. Monday on Raw, we're going to have a match to determine who's going to have the woman advantage, meaning there's going to be an opportunity for a 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, etc., until everybody's in the ring, and then War Games begins. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I love the War Games matches. When they brought them back to NXT, I loved every bit of it. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Bianca, Alexa, Asuka, and Mia Yim are they're one woman short. And thoughts and ideas on who that woman is.
Who's the TBD going to be?
TBD.
I honestly have no idea. I don't. Rob, do you have anything on it? Because I haven't followed this one enough to like be able to take a guess. Unless it's
is it going to be Mickie James?
So the only person that makes sense, right now is Candice LeRae, because she's the only one that's been on TV. She's been involved with the whole thing, but she's been off TV for a little while. They didn't really say why. They said maybe she might have had like a cold or an illness or something like that. I don't want to speculate, but she's been off TV for a couple weeks after taking a loss to Bayley on Raw a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was Io Sky. I can't remember. Anyway, Damage Control beat her, and then they beat her up after the match. So she's been off TV for a while. Candice LeRae makes sense. That's who I guess it's going to be. If I were dream booking it, I I would say somebody returning. I mean, you can't go wrong with Trish Stratus. You know, she's the best.
I was actually going to say Trish Stratus. Yeah.
What if it was Saraya or Paige?
Well, you can't because you got either an AEW.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, if you had your dream match, who would it be?
Let's go with Trish Stratus.
Okay.
That's just me. Big fan.
What about Charlotte Flair?
A fitness model who becomes an elite pro wrestler. Right. That you can't make that shit up.
Nah, I'd go with China.
China.
Yeah, true.
Triple H.
First.
Triple H
Tony
brings
Lord.
back China now that he's in charge.
Stephanie would
Somehow.
God
From
rest
the
her soul.
grave.
Stephanie would be not so happy.
Yeah, she would not be happy at all.
You know
What about
what?
Stephanie
She's
McMahon?
so jealous.
What-
Yeah. Ooh, Linda McMahon comes back.
Yeah,
Oh, good
Linda
Lord.
McMahon. Yeah.
It was a Skeletor at this point.
WrestleMania theme song. So funny.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, last match. Last match.
all right,
On last match on the Survivor Series card. Unless we've got anything.
This
else
is
to
the big
say.
one. No, other than to talk about this match. I mean, this match alone, I think, is worth the price of admission. Not saying that any other ones aren't good, but I mean, honestly, I think this is what everybody's tuning in for, which is cool because a lot of times with WWE and or just pay-per-views in general, it's not really the main event that we're even looking forward to. It's like some other guy, somebody's like, oh, these guys shouldn't be the main event or whatever, but they have built this very, very well, and to the point, and we were talking about it earlier. Last week on SmackDown, surprise run-in from the fifth member of the Brawling Brutes team, Kevin Owens. It felt like go home. It felt like the last SmackDown before the piece. So I don't know how they're going to up that, right? And B, like it's pretty exciting. Like if they do, like can they entice you even more this Friday before the show? What do you guys think?
I love Kevin Owens as a wrestler. I think he's super underrated, and he's great on the mic, great performer. For being someone who's not your typical wrestler physique, it'd be like me going out there, like, oh yeah, I'm a little curvy, whatever, but I will whip your ass. And that's what I love about him. And it's like, yeah, let's go. And Kevin Owens being in that, especially since it seems like he, after his kind of feud with Ezekiel kind of died off, he's been kind of, in the back a little bit.
Yeah.
He has. I think he was also injured, and we're not sure how badly he's injured, but they're still saying that there's a little bit. I don't know if it's a work shoot, but I think there's a little bit of hesitation on if he's going to be a part of this or not. I think, was it a live event that he was, or was it like a main event, or what was it? Rob, do you remember
it was
seeing that when he hurt himself? He was clinching.
It was a live event where they thought that he had sprained his MCL.
Ooh.
That's a dangerous thing. That's your medial collateral ligament. For those of you that don't know, that is the medial collateral
inside.
Ligament on the inside of your knee. So if you're looking down at your knee, it's the one that's on the inside. It's medial. It's closer to your groin, and it's tricky because knee injuries are always tricky because your knee does so much. Obviously wrestlers are moving. You use a lot of your hip power to slam people. You use a lot of your hip power for clotheslines. You use your legs for everything in wrestling. You really, really do. So for him,
but specifically with MCL, when you pivot and when you're changing directions a lot, that puts the most stress on it, which is literally wrestling. Like you don't wrestle like in a kata. Right, Ryan? Like you're not doing straight line back and forth. Like
absolutely not. Well, but there's the thing is, like, you're doing katas and forms and just whatever, that's your own body weight that your knee and ligaments are used to. When you're, grappling with somebody with wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or professional wrestling, you're having extra 250 pounds all of a sudden, supporting that. Like, so yeah, like it's joint health, people.
Joint health, very important.
Yeah. So hopefully he's okay.
Collagen, please.
I don't think they'd put him in it if he wasn't okay enough to wrestle. I think it's good that it's a 5-person. They can, he can come in there, he can do his stuff, and he can still stay somewhat safe because he's not going to have to go through, a 30-minute, knockdown, drag out where it's just him on one-on-one. So I think that's good. Definitely exciting. That run, and you were talking about the body positive side of the curvy, I think his tattoos helped a lot. I think he's much more believable as a badass with the tattoos. You know.
So do I need more? Do I need to start getting tattoos, Justin? Is that what
tattoos
and
a beard, bro? Tattoos and a beard.
I can do the tattoo. I can't. Why? I cannot grow a beard. Okay, look, I can't do it. You and Rob can. I cannot grow a beard.
Look,
this is as good as I get.
Go get your blood work checked and get on testosterone, and it'll take care of itself. You'll lose it up here like me, but you'll have it down here. So
No. I will keep my hair on top.
The transference.
I'll get the tattoos though.
Am I basically the combination between the two of you with having beard and hair?
Look,
pretty much.
Just good. It's good genetics. You have to fucking rub it in. Like let's be real. Like, okay. Like, all right.
Muscles.
Let's move on.
Put the beanie back on, Rob.
Yeah, but I lost my damn hair for it. So that's what happens when you're on testosterone for 12 fucking years. You get GHT and you lose it up here. Look, to be fair, I had the same amount of hair that I had when I was 20. It's migrated to my back. Like my back is Florida and my hair is retired. Like that's what's happened. I haven't lost any hair. I have the same amount. It's just transferred, right, to here and like, you know, my underarm, you know, whatever. So
right. Well, so basically, Justin's saying that he bought a Wookiee onesie from Target and is leaving the hoodie down.
It's good. It's good that winter's coming because Justin's got a sweater. He's good to go.
He'll be fine.
No, I don't because Shayna is more than happy to shave me constantly because she hates hair, and so. I'm sure that's a sight you guys want to see is me standing there like this, like a big ogre just standing here like this while she's shaving my back, like you know, all 5 foot 199 pounds of her, you know, like.
Justin, are you against waxing?
Oh God, I tried it one time, man. I can't do it.
Is it like that scene in the 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I think there's something I read something about people with ADHD, and I don't I have ADHD, and for some reason. Small little surface, like, you know, like touches and stuff like that were more sensitive for whatever reason. I'm not going to try and explain science for it, but there was science behind it. And basically what's saying, so like little, like if you go to like pop a little pimple on her back or like pull a little hair off or whatever, it feels like we got shot. Now I've been stabbed before and I was fine. Right? Like I've been punched in the face a lot and that's okay. That doesn't bother me.
Right.
But if you try and pop a pimple on my back, I'm going to freak the fuck out. So when the waxing thing, no, that shit's not flying. Hard pass. Next subject.
Wait. Hang on. I just think that the three of us need to go get waxed together.
No.
And just film it.
No. How about you guys get waxed? We got to have somebody to film it. I'll film it.
No, we all have to do it. It has to be fair.
I don't know. No.
See, Rob doesn't like it either. I'm telling you.
Kate will film it.
All this, okay.
Look, if you're into S&M, Ryan, just tell us you're into S&M.
Maybe I am. I don't know. Who knows? Like, don't judge. Don't be jealous.
No, I don't. Hey, you know, whatever tickles your fancy. Rob's trying to change the subject.
This bloodline, what I love about this bloodline Brawling Brutes Drew McIntyre KO match is all the layers of this match. There's so many layers.
There's multiple stories within it. Yeah.
The biggest layer is Sami Zayn. Number one, that's the biggest layer is Sami Zayn. And having him in KO, they're gonna meet in the middle of the ring when everybody's down. Everybody's gonna be down. They're gonna be staring at each other in the ring, and the next thing you know, Roman's gonna Superman punch KO. And then Sheamus is going to kick Sammy in the face, and then those two are going to start going. And I mean, it's going to be so much fun. You know, I'm really looking forward to Survivor Series this Saturday, the 26th of November, which is also rivalry day for a lot of football teams. Georgia Tech are playing the Iron Bowls that weekend, the Egg Bowl.
Now, you think that's going to affect the? You think that's going to affect the viewership? I guess they don't really care as much now that it's on. Now that it's on like Peacock or whatever, it's I
mean, I think you get a lot of people watching the next day, like even like you and me, like we watch it like Sunday morning with coffee, and it's great.
They got more to worry about with World Cup than they do with anything else right now.
I don't know, dude. A lot of people are talking about blacklisting and boycotting the World Cup because they're not selling alcohol. All those sponsors are pretty angry about it.
Who cares?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
You know,
it's in Qatar. Like they're not selling any alcohol in the stadium, and so
well, they can't. Well, they can't stop me from drinking alcohol while I'm watching it at my house. So
It's true.
I think people are still going to watch. But talking about the layers, Rob, I'm so glad you used that word, man, because this is just in spades, right? Like you've got Sheamus and you've got McIntyre, who had this great promo talking about how they've had this 20-year rivalry, and then basically almost in a way, pulling the curtain back a little bit, but also basically making it part of the canon now, saying like now because of all that we're best friends, and he was my best man in my wedding. Like that's just awesome. That was awesome to see. And then like you said, obviously the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, El Generico, just years and years and years of both tag teams and just fight forever, right? But then, you've got Roman Reigns, and you've got basically Roman Reigns has screwed over every single member. You've got Roman Reigns and Drew, you've got Roman Reigns and KO, who almost beat him several, you've got Roman Reigns and Sheamus, like he's doing this. And the way that they're portraying Roman Reigns, like the final boss now, they're just doing such a good job of making him feel like the final boss. And
he's got that status. Like I know at one point people hated him, but I think at this point, like you got to respect him because he puts in the work. He fought through the pectoral tear, and what we thought was one.
Yeah. Well, so here's I want to say this. As far as Roman Reigns, and I'm saying this, because of Jason David Frank, I think that truly it is going to have to be a Power Rangers moment if they're going to defeat him. Because he's already defeated all of them individually. They're going to have to fucking form like Voltron or like the Megazords to be able to come in, take out these guys, take out those guys. But there you go. Right. So, but I think we're going to have a swerve here, right? If they're going to do it, there has to be a swerve. Now's the time to do it. Right.
But but that leaves one guy.
Is Sami going to link up? No, but is Sami going to link up with Kevin Owens? And then cost them this, and then them potentially Sami and Kevin against the freaking Usos for the tag titles.
That'd be good.
That's what this world needs.
That's a WrestleMania moment, and we're too early. I think it's all going to go down at the Royal Rumble.
Build it up for 3 months, man. Why not?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
you got to
down at the Royal Rumble. Everything.
I got you.
Everything with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I think they're planting the good seeds. I think seeds are starting to germinate around the Royal Rumble, and then at WrestleMania, they're going to win those titles and get that WrestleMania moment. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know I don't know what they're going to do, but I mean, there's so many people that are calling for Sami to beat Roman for the title, which
I don't see it. I think it would be a moment. I mean, it's something that I would watch, and that I'm not going to say I'm not here for it. Like, I mean, I would be for it. I just don't see
Cody's
it going.
Not healthy by then.
Yeah,
what is the status?
I see it more with KO than I see it with Roman, and if I think it's going to happen, I think that's going to be the moment that Sami turns. Right, amazing. Kevin Owens can only beat Roman Reigns if Sami turns on him. That's a moment. They become the besties again, and then Kevin Owens got the uwu, and then next thing you know, they beat the Usos, and now it's the uwu and the tag team titles. Yeah. Kevin Owens shot to the fucking moon. He is a Triple H guy. I think that's more believable in this, in this climate that we have than Sami Zayn winning. Even though Sami Zayn is literally the most over person in wrestling right now.
Justin, what is it? You said the uwu?
Yeah, that's what some of them call the Universal and WWE title.
But I want you to say it again. Do it again.
The uwu.
Do it again.
The uwu.
One more time.
Are you recording me?
Yes, of course I'm recording.
It sounds like
that's gonna be your ringtone for me.
As I said, the uwu. You know, it sounds like it sounds like an Australian animal, doesn't it?
It totally does.
Hey, mate, you better watch out for the uwu.
Oh, rip your face right off.
You'll get ripped off in your face by the uwu.
Oh, my God.
Shit. All right, so that's enough of WWE because we've got a whole freaking... We are ready for... I am in gear for Full Gear. And to see, Rob, I want to know if the devil got his due. Damn it.
Man, the devil God, did the devil ever get his due? My goodness, he got his due, and in incredible fashion. It's really good. I mean, I know we're going with the main event right here, right now. We're just going to meat and potatoes. We got a lot of matches to cover. Got a lot of matches to cover, but I'm just going to give you just a real quick here. The devil got his due, and they've been making this guy look like a baby for 4 weeks, and going from a baby to just going back to being a heel like that, and that turn on a dime. My God, it's just great storytelling. It's the reason you love.
So,
wrestling.
do we need to jump in on this, or do we just need to talk about it right now?
Well, we're going to come back to it.
Well, we can talk. We can go back on it.
Your toes are in the water.
Oh no! I'm going to make our people wait. I'm going to make our fans, our 4 fans, wait.
Okay.
Make them wait. I'm being a
all right. Well, I'm going to open up with. All I want to say, I'm going to open up with AEW Full Gear, is that thank you, baby Jesus. Danhausen went out there as evil Danhausen and whipped some ass. It was great. He went out there with a mason jar of actual human teeth. I don't know who he got those from. He probably went down to the morgue, or maybe it was the catacombs in Paris, all the way there.
He stole them out of Britt Baker's locker room.
Even better.
Yes, I went to Britt Baker's place and stole them out of the
story there.
He poured them in Nick Camarado's mouth and then kicked him, and it was beautiful.
Awesome. So good.
Great.
Very evil Danhausen. Love it.
And then we had this match that was added, right? Eddie Kingston, which was a banger of a match, right?
I want to talk about that one. I got so many notes on that one, boy. I got so many notes on that one.
Rob's so excited. You go, boy. You go.
Rob, keep your hat on, dude. Keep your hat on.
We're giving you the floor.
You guys know how much I love Japanese shoot and Japanese style wrestling and strong style and pancrase.
Yes, we know. I think the whole world knows how much you love Japanese wrestling, Rob. I think the whole city knows.
So the night before on Rampage, Eddie Kingston and Santana take on new AEW signee Konosuke Takeshita and the legend Jun Akiyama. And I got plenty of notes on Jun Akiyama. I want to talk about this guy because he's a stud. 30-year veteran in professional wrestling. He's been a cage fighter. He's been a shoot fighter. Pride, Pancrase, all this stuff. A legit monster. The dude's 53 years old, and he's just a stud and a half. Kenny Kingston said before the match, he said, Jun Akiyama was the reason that he got into pro wrestling when he was 18 years old. And that's so telling because, you think about people that you love to watch. I mean, we grew up loving Jericho, and he's the best of our generation. He's an icon. We all loved Sting. We all loved, Hogan, the Warrior, Goldberg, all these guys. Kingston loved Jun Akiyama. So to be in the ring with him, beating him, and just bowing and crying and just being so emotional. Again, it's why we love pro wrestling. We love the stories. We love the reasons.
Yeah.
And, Jun Akiyama, a dream match for Eddie Kingston. This is the guy who started with All Japan Pro Wrestling. He was the president. He was their writer. He was their booker. He was their creative director. He goes to DDT Pro. He's running DDT Pro, 6-time world champ. And while he's running DDT Pro in 2013, he discovers this kid, Konosuke Takeshita. And for Akiyama to put his stamp on anybody is pretty impressive. Konosuke Takeshita, in one of his first matches in AEW, wrestles Jon Moxley for the interim AEW title. Hell of a match. He loses, but I mean, it's like this Takeshita kid. Like he's something special. And then a couple of weeks later, he wrestles Claudio Castagnoli for the ROH World Title. I think he actually fought for that title. It was the week after we were at AEW in Atlanta. It was the week after, and because Claudio was working Jonathan Gresham for that title at the Death Before Dishonor, maybe I can't remember. But anyway, that was one of Claudio's first title defenses was against Konosuke Takeshita. So you put your seal of approval on somebody as an older wrestler, and then you go in, and Kingston, after Rampage is over, gets on the mic and says, "Tony Khan, get out here. I want to run it back with Jun Akiyama," and it's amazing. They went 20 minutes. I mean, they're crushing strong style. They're throwing elbows. They're doing chops. Eddie Kingston wins with that back fist thing that he does that's just brutal as hell. You watch the sweat beat off of somebody's head when they hit with that backhand. It's just freaking brutal. And so, these guys are hitting each other. I mean, they're beating the hell out of each other.
I've been hit with that backhand. It ain't nice. Yeah. It's not fun.
So to see that match on 0 Hour, which easily could have been on the main show, to get that match for free was just a beautiful moment in wrestling. And again, it's the reason why we love it. I mean, it's the stories. It's how these guys feel. It's emotions. It's stuff that you just don't get with other sports. You just don't. But anyway, I'm sorry.
So, Rob, how do you really feel about it?
Had to get it off the chest, guys. I was excited about it.
It's really special for Eddie Kingston. It's really special for Eddie, especially if you know his backstory, what he's been through. And, we're talking about men's health, and we're talking about depression and suicide and all these other kind of things today. And Eddie has been a very big proponent of speaking out for men and
he has
getting help, because he's been there. He's been a victim. He's been a victim of substance abuse. He's been a victim of depression. And to see someone go from where he was, where he couldn't even afford to pay he was about to be homeless and had to sell his wrestling outfit just to make, his rent or mortgage. And then, having to borrow one on his first match when he fought Cody, in the Open Challenge, several years ago now, to where he's getting, on even though it's not on the main card, a lot of people, like you said, consider to be a match of a night. He's been highlighted, and he has been this big player on this new company on national television and these huge pay-per-view shows, and getting to wrestle in front of one of his idols. It makes me so happy for him. Like my father always said, I love a success story. I wish I had one of my own. It's good for him, man. That's all I can say. It's good for him. I know he's sitting on top of the world right now.
And on that note, I remember, you say when he did the Open tournament or the Open Challenge with Cody, and then after that he started feuding with Moxley, and those Moxley promos he had with him were so good. They were straight from the heart. They were talking about their families. I mean, it was, it's that illusion of, is it real or is it made up?
I don't know. We talked about that last podcast, Ryan. We talked about that. No, Rob, we talked about that. Yeah, we're looking at people living their gimmicks, and there's a sense of realism that happens with some people. And I think there isn't anybody that makes it feel more real than Eddie Kingston. I can't think of anybody that makes it feel more
100% agree with you.
I agree.
I feel he's, chain smoking before he goes out there and grabs a pint as he gets off. And
he's drunk uncle of the barbecue.
He's drunk uncle of the barbecue.
He's pro wrestling's Daniel Cormier.
Dude,
he's that guy shouldn't be able to beat his ass, but he does. Yeah. So let's move on, because we've got a lot of matches here.
Daniel Cormier would murder him.
What's next on our list?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Eddie Kingston. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So next up, we've got Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchasaurus
in a cage match.
My man was
good. Jungle Boy's mom and sister were there with the same amazing hair that Jungle Boy has. Just want to point that out. It is hereditary. It is beautiful, and I wish I had that long hair.
Genetics, son of a bitch.
Genetics. Don't be jealous. Justin.
All right, so I'm gonna read this little excerpt here. I'm gonna read this little excerpt just so we can go through this here. The dinosaur masked big man dominated the action, overwhelming his smaller opponent with his size and strength advantage. He bloodied his former friend and partner and intimidated referee Bryce Rinsberg when the official attempted to buy Perry time. Cage found himself dragged to the back of security, but even without his presence, Luchasaurus continued to dominate. That is, until a massive destroyer, steel chairs, and tables came into play, the result of the fight spilling outside of the cage after Christian unlocked the door. Perry was repeatedly forced to fight from underneath, and he did, overcoming his opponent's advantages to deliver an elbow drop from the top of the cage, bloodied and all, and apply the snare trap for the submission win. This is a great way to open the show that started somewhat slow, but a build to a brutal, hard-fought, grueling match that saw the right guy go over, adding a signature moment to his highlight reel.
I think I watched that full match. It was fun.
I didn't write that. I just wrote that. Somebody else.
That was whoever you know. Well, who's
his source report.
Yeah, Bleacher Report. Be sure you credit them, please.
Yeah.
No, the match was fun. Like at first, Luchasaurus was destroying him, and then Jungle Boy, he's all like wiry and he's slick, using that to his advantage. And let's fast forward to he did this flying off the cage elbow drop, and it was great. It was reminiscent of Cody Rhodes doing the moonsault on Wardlow, and then like literally as he dropped down, only his arm hit Luchasaurus, and like the rest of his body hit the mat. And you're like,
it was a little bit of an unfortunate spot. There was one angle that it looked better at and one angle that it didn't look as good, as impactful for.
Yeah.
But him going right for the snare trap afterwards was a nice little signature move.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
and
it ended well.
Wardlow even had some black goo coming out of his lungs. Like, I mean, he was choking. He could have
Luchasaurus, not Wardlow.
Luchasaurus. Yeah, Luchasaurus. Had he not tapped out, he might have died.
Probably.
I'm just saying that.
I think it was vile. Isn't that how the dinosaurs died anyways?
They
froze to death, but
I thought they hiccup, farted, sneezed, and burped all at the same time.
I think I heard, it may not be true. I heard it was Rambo.
Rambo
killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Everybody knows
I don't think Rambo. I would believe Chuck Norris, not Rambo. So it was a great match, but guys, I want to carry on like as if I were a wayward son. Because the next match brought back the Elite. Carry on our wayward son.
Oh, so good.
Tony can't spend a lot of money on licensed music. Yeah. Man, what an intro. What a lot of money to spend on something that I didn't think that they were going to get. And talk about having somebody come back. You couldn't have a bigger pop. I'm glad they got it over with. We can talk about the match. I think what needed to happen happened. I don't think this is the one that caught me off guard. I didn't think it was going to happen, but what I wanted to happen happened. But man, what a freaking intro.
It was awesome
for the entrance.
Welcome back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to say much about this. I have a complaint, but I'll talk about it later. You guys talk.
Okay.
I thought there were some extremely well scripted moments that were hysterical, like them all triple kicking each other, them like taking turns and like an X formation, hitting this, hitting that, like taking like it was.
The awesome. Triple pile driver was pretty fun.
Triple power driver was great. Or was it triple tombstone?
Yeah.
I think it's triple tombstone. Yeah. But it was a great match. I love the Bucks. I think they're one of the best tag teams out there. I also think Lucha Brothers are one of the best tag teams out there. And, there was an interesting conflict because all of a sudden Pac is thrown in like this gem hammer and Ray Phoenix does not want to do that, but he did. He crossed the line.
There was some good psychology going on because he didn't want to do it the first time and he was frustrated and he did it the second time. I feel like the Young Bucks are one of those things that like everybody's like, oh yeah, they're good, but either you hate them or you love them. There's a lot of people that, that say that it's, it's they just don't like them, the gimmicks. But I think at the end of the day, anybody that's ever seen one of their matches, especially live, they have to understand that at the very least, they're entertaining and they will catch your attention. And it's impossible to watch one of their matches and not pay attention to it. They're not
100%.
A team that comes on and in a match, you're flipping through your phone. You're watching this match. And in my opinion, the greatest tag team cage match of all time. I don't know how many of those there's been, but the greatest tag team tag match of all time was Lucha Brothers versus the Bucks when the Lucha Brothers won the tag team titles. That was, in my opinion, at least a 5-star match. So adding in Omega and Pac to this, I think was great. I think there was enough drama. And I think I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to see what happens in the front, because my complaint, I know Rob's got a complaint. My complaint is that I felt like there was going to be more of a story to this whole, like, you know, delete the elite, the editor, and all this other kind of stuff. I felt that it was going, or I thought that it could have been almost Bray Wyatt level. And I feel like it was literally like a lot of build up, and then you go, it's like, we're back. The angle is we're back.
The thing is that they're having like the best out of 7 matches now.
I did see that too. So I'm hoping that they compound on it a little bit, but at the same time, the best out of 7 matches kind of makes this match a moot point.
Well, Rob, it seems like you've got an opinion. You've got a down thumb over here. What's up with that?
I don't need to see these guys wrestle 7 matches.
Period. End of statement. I'm done.
That's the tweet. I don't
get off my lawn.
Goddamn matches between these 6 men. I don't need it. That's the tweet. Eliminate the best of 7 series. That's the tweet.
Rob, do you have a verified Twitter account for that?
It's only $8 now.
It's only $8.
You know what? I'm this close to paying $8 just so I can send that out and tag every last one of them and just walk away. Annoying as hell. Why do we need 7 matches?
Delete my account.
Who the hell cares?
And give them your home address too. Like, this is where I live, bitch.
Fine. But look, these guys are going to dominate our television screens for the next 3 weeks with matches. Like, why? Why?
Because they're good. Because it's
good.
It's good wrestling.
They're great. But it's like Tony
Khan's got to cover 3 hours a week of freaking wrestling on television and another 2 hours on YouTube. So he's got to fill it somehow. And he's got to basically make his money back from Kenny and the Bucks.
I got a good idea.
Shall we talk about Jimmy Hayter, Tony Storm?
Why don't we talk about that? But then, before then, have them have the rematch on Wednesday, and then have the House of Black come out and just crush everybody.
That'd be fun.
What I think. I think the House of Black need to come in there for sure. But
that'd be very fun.
I'm surprised they didn't do that. I thought that they were going to be somewhat incorporated into Full Gear with all the promos that have happened. But I think maybe Tony, like you said, swerved everybody so he can get that pop for that. Before we do that, Jamie Hayter, because that's something that's kind of interested me, the way that turned out. I want to touch on Jade versus Nyla Rose real quick. Because
oh my God, the Thundercats,
dude.
Jade, mainly because of the Thundercats outfit, yeah.
Jade, with the throwback to my childhood, Chitara, like, I love it.
She's just tugging on her freaking heartstrings over here. She knows what she's doing, man. Like, how could you not want her to win with that set up there? I mean, yeah. So, anyways, it was a solid match. I think, looking at it and looking at the highlights, I think Nyla Rose took her further to the limit than anybody else has.
I agree.
I think that's what needs to happen. You need to slowly start seeing people take Jade a little bit closer to the edge.
100%.
But I mean, then who's going to take the title? Is it going to be
somebody?
Jamie Hayter?
Don't worry about that.
No,
it's not going to
be. Yeah, it's not going to be Jamie. I think it's going to be Psoriasis. I think it's going to be Saraya first.
What did you say, Cialis?
Yeah.
Do you want Saraya to win a secondary title or not?
First. Why not, man? She's been injured and it's iffy. We don't know what's going to happen with her. You put the title on her, and then we got another fucking interim title later on after that. I think what needs to happen is you're going to have Thunder Rosa come back, and then hopefully Jamie Hayter beats Thunder Rosa to solidify it. And then, you could have but honestly, I think Britt versus Saraya could go on for a little bit.
I think it needs to go on. I think, Britt needs to go on. I think Britt needs to actually win the feud because, as Tony Khan's done a really good job, just because you're ex-WWE does not mean you're coming in here as top dog.
Yeah, put over the new talent for sure.
Right, put over the new talent. So, Saraya can come back, and then Britt Baker needs to come out with a vengeance and just lay the smackdown, no pun intended. And then...
Don't lay the smackdown. That would be copyright infringement. We don't want that.
I did not say that. I meant no pun intended.
No, I'm saying if AEW laid the smackdown.
I will say it was good to see Saraya back in the ring after so long, and You know,
And
I mean,
Britt was going for her neck, bro. What the hell, man?
she's vicious, bro. Great women's matches. Going to AEW Women's Championship. I'm tired of this interim crap, but if we do what we do. Jamie Hayter is a stud. That woman's a hell of an athlete, and she deserved to win this match. I swear to God,
where did she come from with this babyface thing?
I don't know, dude. I think it's a lot of. I think it's just people like her. She just got over. I mean, you know, it's just like everybody else, man. Like it's like everybody else in wrestling right now. Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes were heels, and then they started putting on banger matches, and now they love them. And then people hated Roman Reigns, and now they love him. People hated the Judgment Day. Now they're starting to kind of.
It's not like Tony Storm. It's not like Tony Storm was, a 2016 Roman. Like people like her. Like she's not like you know what I mean. They enjoy her. She's a good face. But like out of nowhere, they start booing her, and they started, wanting Jamie to win, even when she's doing heel shit. It was kind of out of nowhere for me. I'm not a Jamie hater, no pun intended, but she wasn't really on my radar, and now she's over like Rover.
She's always been, the token strong woman, in a way that like so has Line.
Nia Jax?
Jay Cargill.
Jay Cargill.
But and just not with more training, and she was a newcomer, so she had to work her way up the ladder. And now that people have seen her perform, and she can show her strength, and she can show how good she is, that's why people love her. It's not just she's a heel. Is that no? She's the whole package.
It's just very interesting that Britt Baker made her lose the title, and now she's on her side and helped her.
That will be a big.
It seems like somebody made a different decision and they changed their mind in creative. So I'll be interested to see if they somehow play that into it and make it all make sense, because it seems a little.
Hopefully, they just kind of kick the can down the road, like because Jamie versus Britt will be a great angle.
Britt's going to turn on her within the next 2 weeks, like guaranteed.
Eventually, you think that?
No way. Yeah, it's going to be that quick. I mean, Britt Baker is she's the front and center, and Jamie's behind, and Rebel's behind. Like Britt is the mouthpiece. She's the talker. She's the good worker. She's this. She's that. Jamie Hayter is just a bad bitch. And let's be honest, she's awesome, and she's a powerhouse and she's strong. But at the same time, all the people are behind her. She's starting to get her her gentle baby turn. And once they full on baby turn her, she's going to be an even bigger star. And Britt Baker's just going to elevate her more.
She just needs one little catchphrase or just one little gimmick thing to bring her over, and then that'll do it. It's literally like it's the same situation as the next match that we're going to talk about, the Acclaimed. They were good. They were, they're right there at the title, and they had the charisma, they had it all, but they just needed something to push them over the top, and I think that's what Jamie Hayter did. But so we've got an new women's title holder, and now we're going to go into the Acclaim versus Swerve, because it's big news for that. Not only are the Acclaim still the champions in the rubber match, so they win this feud, but also Swerve and Keith Lee no more. Keith Lee singles babyface now. What do you guys think?
I'm here for it. I think that's what it needs to be.
Well,
do they feud first, or they just go their separate ways?
Yeah. No, I think they're going to feud. Keith Lee is going to be like, look, I'm done. Keith Lee's going to try to leave, like wash his hands, like, hey, dude, you're going to do your thing. And then I think Swerve's going to come back and like just backstab him every single time he gets.
Yeah.
And that will be a great feud. Yeah. That can go on for, like, oh, you're my nemesis. Doesn't matter how many times I beat you, but he's going to come and screw with you every single time he gets. I love that. That storyline could go on for 10 years.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, so they are no more. Great match. They always have great matches, honestly. I mean, all three of them have been fantastic. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Rob, where would you put this one in the trilogy?
Say that again. This match is.
I should say Ryan. Ryan. Yeah, Ryan. Where? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ryan. Because you watched it live. You have the best opinion of this, right? where would
I
you
thought-
put this match in the three matches that they've had?
Yeah, I was on.
First, second, third.
I'd rate it as their top match. Like there was no Billy Gunn except for one moment, so it was a clean match. And things started getting dirty when Swerve started getting dirty,
Right.
and that's when Keith Lee's like, "No, dude, I draw the line there." And it was fun. Like Anthony was great. Both of them were great, and so it was just Max Caster. Yeah, like it was a fantastic match. It was a great tag team. No complaints. Scissor me more.
A highlight
Scissor me more, Daddy.
of that match was when Swerve kept doing his flash kick and Bowens just kept getting up.
Oh yeah, he did. He flashed him like three times.
He wasn't going down. He wasn't going to lose. He wasn't going to be the weak link of his team.
All the sympathy.
I mean,
all
God.
the sympathy, especially with that hurt shoulder.
Yeah, you want to see him succeed. It's like
if anything, that whole match was more of a Bowens push than anything. Because Max Caster had a really good push when he was single and Bowens had his knee injury.
Right.
And this match showed more of Bowens and his tenacity and his perseverance than anything in that entire thing.
Big fan. Really big fan of both their work. Hope they don't.
So I can't remember the order of these, but I want to move on to the next match because it is just a big, sweaty, sloppy slabs of man meat just slapping each other just in the ring, and that is the
Tell them how you feel.
three-way triple threat between Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe. And guys, I don't know if you know this, but in a triple threat match, the champion doesn't actually have to be pinned to lose.
Well, I feel like I've heard this before.
Oh my god!
Maybe not tonight, but maybe I feel it before.
That's fantastic.
So what you're so Justin, what you're telling me is I don't have to lose what I have.
Correct. You can lose it all without losing. So what's interesting to me is that Samoa Joe didn't have his title up on the line. I think if you're going to do a triple threat, you should at least do like, all right, look, if Wardlow gets pinned, then whoever pins him is the TNT champion. But if Samoa Joe gets pinned, whoever pins him is the ROH World TV champion.
Right.
And if Powerhouse Hobbs gets pinned, you owe him $20. I don't know. Like they should do something to have it like be something special. Or something. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I wish that they would do something with these triple threats. Definitely lots of man meat in this one though. Just lots of man meat.
It was a lot of man meat.
And again, we have an new double champ. We got Samoa Joe's a champ. Like that's a big deal.
The fourth Samoan man currently being a double title holder, mind you. That's important.
Yeah. It's interesting because I was talking with Kate about it, and she's like, "These are some big men in this ring. They need to reinforce that thing." And they did. But the thing is, all I gotta say is, Powerhouse Hobbs, suck it up, dude. You were tapping as that rear naked choke went in there. If you're that tough, you need to just get choked out. Maybe that extra 2 seconds could have given Wardlow time.
It's not just the rear naked choke when Samoa Joe does it, brother.
Is it? How is it different?
That coquina clutch.
It is. It's the clutch. You see
it's
the way he holds those.
It's the clutch.
The way he holds those hands. That coquina clutch is something different. He's got the stank on it. He's got the swag. He's got the, I don't know. I think he doesn't wash for 3 weeks.
What, did he poop and not wipe before the match?
You pass out from the smell, not the lack of oxygen, I think is what it is. And there's something special about it.
It's the blood to the head.
Well, talking
it's
about
the black curtains coming in and closing things off.
He does do it well, man. He looks like a freaking boa constrictor when he's around you like that, for sure. It's a good move to have literally be just a rear naked choke. It definitely looks good. Where do you guys think it goes from here? Do you think Powerhouse Hobbs was just a pawn for this Ward Joe feud?
No, they need to keep.
They're going to go back and forth.
They need to keep this man meat market up.
You got to keep this going.
Yeah.
Note.
I mean, I did not see this is another swerve.
You could roll with them.
Now, you ever notice? Now, I don't know if you ever noticed.
Fucking strong. Come on.
I'd have to get back on the juice or something to get up the weight with these guys.
Yeah. So you watch a regular rear naked choke, and you see how they get there. But with the coquina clutch, where he gets that cravat, he turns that wrist here like this, like he gets the
wrist turning over.
Across. The wrist is turned over, so he's got that going too. So that way you've got that forearm going into the jugular. So I mean, it's a very powerful thing. But two things.
It's like the difference between doing a power slam on the ring or doing a power slam on the apron, which I don't know if you guys know is the hardest part of the ring.
Beat me to it.
I didn't know that. I'm going to be teaching grappling tomorrow, so I will try this.
Two things.
Great. If we see on the news that you killed somebody in the ring, we'll just film at 11. Ryan Sheeler.
Yeah.
Two things to make this match better, and I'll leave it alone.
Blame it on Rob.
Two things to make this match better, and I'll leave it alone. One, I feel like AEW is really missing an opportunity. Something that ECW used to do, where you have these three-way dances. They're not triple threat matches; they're three-way dances, and the champion had to be pinned to lose the title. And I think that's really important, number one. Number two, what would have made this great is, granted, we love Hook. We hadn't talked about Hook in a while, but Hook's a beast. But if Hobbs had been the FTW champion at the same time that Joe's got the Ring of Honor TV title and Wardlow's got the TNT title, that would have added another layer that would have gotten me a lot more interested, because I knew that one way or the other Hobbs was going to eat the pin or get tapped, because that's just the way this match is set up, because this ain't about Hobbs and Wardlow and Joe. This is about Joe and Wardlow. That's all this is about. And you go put Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, on TV just to get him a payday, which is great, but he's better than that. He's worth more than just being the filler in a match against two behemoths.
I think Orange Cassidy would have been better used in this match. Honestly, between Joe and Wardlow, the All-Atlantic champion versus the TNT champion versus the ROH TV champion, whoever falls loses,
And that's
a great idea. That's a great idea.
Champ, no matter what happens.
That's where you run into too many titles, man. That's where you just run into too many titles.
What we how about we wrap things up with the main event?
Well, wait. We got to talk about Jericho Danielson. We got to talk about the four-way here.
Oh, right.
That was a heck of a match. There was a lot of swerve going on there, and
we got to talk about that.
We had a weird situation. Yes, I think Sammy shined from what I saw. Ryan, you can back me up or deny it if you want.
Sammy was he went for it. He was
the double cutter was very, very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was very interesting, the whole him doing the right thing, quote unquote, like Jericho said, but then in the middle of it, giving him the go to sleep. What does it do when he does it?
It's essentially the go to sleep thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then he did the Spanish fly on
top rope.
He did the Spanish fly on Jericho off the top of rope, he did the code breaker on Jericho. So I mean, there's a lot of drama going on back and forth here. There was the double Boston, the double single Boston crab,
double single Boston crab that was good
with Brian and Claudio. I think it was definitely it was a solid match. There's a lot of gimmicks going on with it, but then Jericho afterwards said that he appreciates Sammy's
he expected him to go for it
in the match. So I thought that this was going to be a breakup with Sammy and then some feud, because I would love to see a feud between Sammy and Jericho.
It'll come. It'll come. It's just not there yet.
Long-term story.
But anyways, yeah. But that's what I got out of that. Ryan, Rob, what do you guys think?
I think Jericho being Jericho ran at the end, sealed the deal, and that's what makes Jericho so good. He's a snake in the grass. He's going to wait for his moment to strike, and he did.
And the Ocho continues his 8th world title.
And the Ocho continues
his desecration of the Ring of Dishonor.
Can't wait to see who beats him for that title.
All right. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. I hope that it's I don't know who the heck it would be. A former champion.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to be Brian, honestly. I think Danielson is the one that needs to hold the ROH title.
I agree.
If Punk's not in the picture.
He's already had it.
Punk's not in the picture, I think he needs to be the one that holds it. He's the
Daniels.
one that can really elevate that. And he loves Ring of Honor so much, he's going to do everything he can. He would love to have that title and let that come full circle, after everything he's been through. But yeah, moving on to the main event. Speaking of titles, this is the big one. This is the devil getting his due. This is MJF versus Moxley. This is the heel to face turn. Just everything you can imagine. The heel to face turn, the face back to heel, and the manager swerve. I mean, it's the best.
Justin, didn't you call this?
I did call this almost verbatim. I was going to say it.
this.
I'm glad you said something, Ryan. But it's literally right down to the brass knuckles. As a matter of fact, if I can pat myself on the own back. But I don't think it was honestly, I think this was something that was super, super out there. I don't think it was a big stretch. I think a lot of people felt the same way as I did. And it works. It works. Hey, look, does MJF need a mouthpiece? Fuck no. If he needs anything, it's not a mouthpiece.
Amen.
But I think having the gentleman villain in his corner, just standing there, I think gives him credence. I think they literally already feel like they should be together anyways. So, put him there. It's an easy payday. There's so much that can be done with it. It's a bad guy. He already did the shtick with Wardlow where he built Wardlow up and he was a reluctant bad guy, hired hand, henchman, whatever, crony. And now you've got the tutor, you've got the mentor, to the devil, the devil's devil, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be just for some great matches, some great storytelling. I think they can get together for a very, very long time. I loved it. It's what I wanted to happen. And I think it's what most people wanted to happen. I'm glad now that Moxley can take some freaking time off, go on vacation, maybe go have a baby with Renee or something like that, write another cookbook and come back and then just to the biggest freaking pop you can imagine in 6 months.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a great match. I thought, it was awesome seeing Moxley being you're outclassed, kid. You don't know what you're getting into, and wipe the mat with MJF. And then every single time MJF got a couple licks in there, and Moxley pretty much shrugged off. Is dude, you're out of your league.
You can't touch me. Yeah, but major sympathy for the devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Major sympathy for the devil.
And then Regal came out. Don't you put on that ring? And he was no, I'm not going to do it. You better not. Don't you dare.
How dare you.
And then slid him those
do
nuts.
the brass knuckles instead.
And that was because the thing is through the whole match, you're feeling bad for MJF because he is out of his league. And that's toying with the audience. That's so much better storytelling. It's not when you're toying with the wrestlers, you're screwing with the audience. And that's
because he wouldn't leave, it felt like growth. It felt like there was growth during the match, right? Because he was outclassed, but he refused to give up. Those are the moments when we can all identify with where we can't beat this thing in front of us. We don't know what to do. There's nothing we can do. It's bigger than us. It's stronger than us. It's faster than us. It's, it's more aggressive than us. It's every single thing that we can imagine. It's better than us, but we just don't want to give in. So what do? Oftentimes we get beat, but he goes back to his old ways, and he decides to, by any means fucking necessary, this is more important to him than anything in the world, and he's going to do what the fuck he needs to do. And it's almost a heel move that is something that people can sympathize with, because there's plenty of us that have been, introduced with that cheat code, that that easy way out, and maybe we did, maybe we didn't take it, but for what it's worth, we've been presented with it, and we knew that we wouldn't get this thing if we didn't know what this was. So we all understand that feeling to some extent. And I think in that sense, it's beautiful storytelling. And I'm excited for the future and to see where it goes with that. Like I said, I hope Moxley goes away for a good period of time. He's going to come back. He's going to be on top again. I'm excited for that. But in the meantime, MJF rules wrestling.
Totally.
Well said.
Alongside Sami Zayn.
Well said. Well said. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Moxley takes time off. Obviously, the guy needs it. He's been overworked. He had to take care of the company, put it on his shoulders. he who must not be named is hopefully gone forever. Who do you set up as the next opponent for MJF that makes sense?
You could literally put him with anybody.
But the question is,
they've been having the they have a whole other stable.
Nobody.
I mean, Bryan Danielson. What
about
Danielson
Wardlow?
Would work. Claudio would work.
It's
Like,
too early for Wardlow. It's too soon. If
no,
Wardlow,
what's your most like? No, I know, not Wardlow. Yeah,
he has to win.
Yeah, for sure. No, Wardlow wins against MJF has a long reign, and Wardlow's the one that dethrones him for sure. But I think in the meantime, what you're going to see, the first one to bring it up is going to be crap. I just had it in my head and I just lost it. Shit. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just lost this.
Danielson?
No, not Danielson. Starks. I just said Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat comes back and
Ric Flair.
beats MJF for his last match. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just I literally was about to say it.
You guys remember it in the middle of the night.
I am. Well, hopefully I remember it before that. You guys, what's your opinion? Where do you guys think it goes from here? And
So you've still got this eliminated tournament final next Wednesday with Ethan Page.
Kenny Omega. I'm sorry, Kenny Omega. They just lost the trios, so they potentially, the 7 out of whatever. Hopefully that gets done quick. I think Kenny Omega is a big face. I think they got 7 out. They're going to do that all on Wednesday. I think they do 7 matches on Wednesday. They get it over with, and then Kenny Omega say,
"Please get him."
Cody Rhodes comes back. Cody Rhodes comes back and surprises everybody and beats MJF.
Hangman's going to come back
for the Uwu title.
The what title?
For the Uwu title.
The Uwu
can't work for the AEW title because he screwed himself out of working for that title ever again.
But that was while he was there. I guarantee you, there's a clause. Now that he's left,
right.
And he comes back, I think that's I'm telling you, it writes itself. Book it, you fucking cowards.
I like the idea of Ricky. I like the idea of Ricky Starks winning this Eliminator tournament, but I also like the idea of Ethan Page winning this Eliminator tournament because neither one of those guys is going to dethrone MJF. But if MJF moving forward is going to be the heel of the company, you've got to have a baby, and it's Ricky Starks. And I'm a big fan of Ricky Starks. I think he's the rock. I think he's the rock in the wings, waiting in the wings. Just his charisma.
You don't think Jungle Boy?
I don't think Jungle Boy's quite ready. I like the idea of that. I think, honest to God, I think the guy that I would like to see beat MJF is Eddie Kingston. That's who. I mean, if I had my way, if I'm dream booking it, and I've got 4
talk about promos. Talk about leading up promos. Ricky Starks or Eddie Kingston. Talk about 2 back and forth.
Let those two just go ham. And obviously Eddie Kingston being John Moxley's buddy and how he got screwed over and this and this and this. I mean, again, you're writing checks. You're writing checks.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go about this, but you've only got a few people who are big enough, main event status enough right now that can dethrone MJF. And it's Wardlow, it's Eddie Kingston, and it's Mox, and that's it. Like nobody else. Adam Page is out.
No, Omega could always come out. Omega could always come out. But I get what you're saying. He's in the trios situation still. Here's why I like Ricky Starks. I like Ricky Starks because in order for Ricky Starks to beat MJF, he's got to have an ace in the hole because MJF has Regal. And I love Taz coming back and playing the baby face helper against that. And they're having this like kind of feud from whatever. I like the idea of that because there's a story there from that they can pull from the past.
Yeah, I get that. I can see that.
Could be good. Well,
not saying that's what's going to happen, but I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, only time will tell.
Only time will tell. This was a fun show, guys. This is the longest show we've ever done. We're coming up right up on an hour and a half now. We nailed it. It's great. A lot happened this week.
Yeah.
I must have. Yeah. Whole bunch, yeah. Packed full of just, juicy professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and sweaty, sloppy men slapping each other in the middle of the ring.
Lord.
So, guys, if you're listening, rate us on Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. Tell us what you want. But on that note, going back to Jason David Frank, guys, if you're suffering from mental depression, if you need to talk to somebody, the number is 988. Talk to them, talk to us, talk to your friends. There is always someone to listen. Yeah.
Message us. I mean, we're not going to give our phone numbers out on live air, but
if you comment on the
media,
blog, we will get in touch with you. I promise.
Absolutely. There's always somebody willing to listen. I know when you're in the midst of it, all of us have been there, and it feels like nobody wants to, but somebody does. There's somebody there, and there's always a reason to make the right decision. That decision is never the right decision. I think we end on that, gentlemen. May the power protect you.
And power protect you. And we're going to end on the Green Ranger's music. So until next time, everybody. Peace. Be well.
Happy wrestling, everybody.
Go Green Ranger, go.
988, guys.